We know how important lights are in the natural sense. We have lighthouses that guide ships safely into port, that keep them away from dangerous rocks. We have lights that signal for planes as they land safely in the dark. Lights guide the way that lead us to safety. Over lockdown in 2020, like the rest of the country, Tobes and I were going on lots and lots of walks. We were staying with my mum in Essex, and so we were exploring all the different fields and woods, and as far as we could go within our safe, what was it, radius? I can't remember what the radius was now. But we wanted to try a different route, so we went out for a walk. And of course, this was a great idea to try a different route because it was getting dark, I'd forgotten my phone, and Toby was on 5% battery. So you can see where this is going. Obviously, we got completely lost, and Toby was adamant that he knew exactly where he was going. But, sure enough, the sun set, my phone died, and suddenly we were lost in the woods, knee-deep in mud. You know, as the light starts to fade, that quite nice dusky light, and then all of a sudden the light just drops. And we're in the middle of the woods, in the Essex countryside, with no idea where we're going. So we did what all sensible, rational people would do. We picked a direction and we just kept going. So we just kept walking, and Toby will probably tell this story a bit differently, but I'm the one with the microphone, so I'm telling it my way. Toby was adamant he knew where he was going. I was adamant we were completely lost, so as you can imagine, the conversation was very light-hearted and fun. But it was getting darker and darker, and at one point I was in mud up to my knees in the middle of the woods in the pitch black, like, oh my goodness, how on earth are we going to get out of this? But sure enough, after an hour and a half of walking, the rising dread and the growing darkness, we saw a light through the clearing, and we had found our way home. But what did Jesus mean when he said that he was the light of the world? Well, in John 8 it says, when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. This is one of the 7 I am statements that Jesus makes about himself. And all of these 7 statements have one word in common. Does anyone know what that word is? That's another word. They have 2 words in common. And one of the words that they have in common is the word the. When Jesus says that he is the light of the world, he is saying something really significant about himself. And light in this context, it can also mean truth, that he is the truth. So Jesus isn't just saying that he is a light or a way or a truth, but the light and the way and the truth. Jesus is the light in the world that has been darkened by sin. And if we want to find our way home out of darkness, it is the light of his word and his truth that we are to follow. How you doing there, John? Your arm's aching yet? Amazing. Because we live in this postmodern world, don't we, where truth is subjective. There are lots of ways and different truths that we could live out and we could follow. And even ones that look and sound very similar to Jesus, but often require us to give nothing up and don't cost us anything. But following Jesus is not just another wellness journey or ideology of love that makes the world a better place or makes us feel better about ourselves. Jesus offers himself to us and lights up the way for us, a way of living that leads to eternal life. But the thing is, and the thing that makes Jesus distinct from any other truths, is that the primary goal of living a life that is yielded to the ways of Jesus is not just for the sake of us, but for the sake of others. In Matthew 5, it says, You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it under a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So my encouragement and my prayer for us this morning is that we might clothe ourselves with the confidence that comes from putting on Christ, and not because he is a light, but because he is the light. Be bold, be courageous this Christmas season. I know it's suddenly become way more challenging than we ever anticipated it would be. But that's even more reason to share a message of hope to your friends and family who don't know Jesus. So as you leave today with these kind of strange little oranges that represent all these different things, hold on to the question of whose life are you going to light up this Christmas?